All right, so today I'm going to be speaking about how we can strengthen your hotel's IT and cybersecurity to enable guest trust and innovation. Okay, so you know that every day all your properties process thousands of transactions. You store a lot of personal data and you've got to manage hundreds of devices. But the question is, how secure is the backbone to all of this? So what's the trend? Well, as the guest journey becomes increasingly digital, from the booking to the checkout, so does the exposure to cybersecurity vulnerabilities, data breaches, and also fraudulent activity. Okay, so what's the plan? Well, it's quite simple. You just have to invest in cybersecurity tooling, new service providers, deploy more processes within your operations to deal with all of this, and then just manage the risk. And this is a lot easier said than done. Okay, so before I talk any more about that, I just want to quickly introduce ThreatSpike. So we are a security company that has been around for over 10 years now, and we started with our efforts to consolidate the cybersecurity tooling within the market at the time, and still to this day. And we started that journey and we came into the market with very competitive pricing, which helped us gain a lot of customers, especially within hospitality. So a few of our notable ones in hospitality are Kempinski Hotels, Aman Resorts, PPHE, Invest Hotels, Mayborn, Imperial London Hotels, Malmaison, Pyramid Global Hospitality. The list really goes on. Well, who am I? Well, I'm Jacob Andrews. I'm head of Black. ThreatSpike Black is our managed IT service. We started this last year, and with ThreatSpike Black, the real aim of why we began this journey was because from our relationships with our clients within the hospitality, we saw that firstly a lot of service providers that they were getting for their IT were not cutting it. We believe that the IT MSP market is extremely reactive. A lot of the players are reselling tools at market prices. Support is merely an add-on for them, and there's an extreme disconnect between the products that they serve within IT and hospitality and the cybersecurity tools that they deploy within your environment. And so from our perspective, we really could see that being a software company, we could bridge that gap. We create all our solutions ourselves. So all our security, all our IT solutions is created by ThreatSpike, and we own everything. So we're very easily able to bridge that gap with the service and the product that is received. And here is a list of the different things that we do with IT, but mainly it's trying to open our arms up to everything. We'll talk a little bit more about this, but everyone knows here that hospitality is incredibly complex, and from a service support perspective, you have to try and take control as much as you can, because otherwise things are left in the dust and things are not managed and maintained properly. Okay, so with the security that we do with ThreatSpike Black, well, you get Ryan, who's head of Red, and Chandler, who's head of Blue. So you get all our offensive pen testing, our Red teams, and then with Blue, you get all our security tooling that I just mentioned. Okay, so back to our hospitality. You're probably thinking, what is this picture? Well, I was in a taxi on the way to a client in London, and it just rained, and I looked up at the sunroof and I saw lots of droplets of water, and I thought this represented hospitality quite well. Every droplet of water represents one part of hospitality. Maybe it's from your PMS to the PDQs, your guest Wi-Fi, your car parking system, your TV and music, your key cutting, your endpoints, your infrastructure, and the interfaces that have to connect all of this together. There's a huge amount, and I don't think hospitality probably gets enough credit for how much you actually have to manage. Okay, so we're going to quickly talk about a case study with a client. So This company was around 1,000 users, and they had 8 properties in their portfolio. So before ThreatSpike, well, we really came in and first saw that the MSP that they had wasn't doing a lot. They were pretty bare bones in terms of the tasks that they were providing. It was doing first-line support, user provisioning, password resets, and anything more technical would be raised to the internal team. So they had an internal team which a lot of them were essentially first-line support, defined as second line, but really they were just first-line support. Their IT processes weren't great. They had outdated security tools from the MSP stack that they provided for them, and it wasn't tailored to their needs. In general, the offensive security that they were getting wasn't great. Their PCI was very, very low, and numerous infrastructure issues plagued their environment. So after we came in, we wanted to first see, okay, well, from our perspective at ThreatSpike, security is our bread and butter. We can come into a business and really change their security within a couple of days because we're so mature with it and it's all our product. So we came in and provided 24/7 SOC support, that's full incident response, full endpoint protection, and now they've got over 80 security controls enabled across their environment. And with ThreatSpike, because again, we have everything within our own company, all our products are ours, we develop things very fast. And so with that, we replace a lot of software contracts within the hotel and within the business. This was replacing their VPN with ours, their TeamViewer with our remote screen share, their asset inventory with ThreatSpike's own, their help desk, and also created bespoke automations for the company. And of course, we did black teaming, red teaming, pen testing of their infrastructure, and also did PCI testing for their compliance. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about support. We came into the business, and it was very important for us to discover what was there. This is something that a lot of providers miss out. They can come in and they provide simple management of 365 and some of your hospitality applications, but truly they don't manage everything. So we tried to understand exactly what was there and what wasn't there. We came on site for at least 5 months to not only learn that business inside out, but see what was going on the front line. So you all know, from your front office to your housekeeping to your maintenance, these are the people who provide that guest experience. If they are not happy, the customers are not happy. So I was there, sat with them most days of the week to understand exactly what was happening. It's not only understanding if there was issue fatigue, there's stuff that's not been resolved, but it also comes back to training and the applications that you use. It's very hard to change applications within a hotel environment because there's a lot of costs, there's a lot of training. Someone has to manage all of that. So from our perspective, we took over full application management for this business. We took over infrastructure and cloud management as well. We oversee all the communication with the third-party vendors, so with their PMS, their payment gateways, with Adyen, their guest Wi-Fi, with Dan McGee. We oversee all of that and we manage it from ThreatSpike. We also provide heavy support for those bigger tasks. So a big part of this is being able to give you time back. As an IT manager, or if you're in an IT team, you should not be doing day-to-day user support. That should be given to someone else. You should be spending your time working on these bigger projects. This is where you're able to move the business in the right direction and focus your efforts on more important things. And at the moment, I don't believe that within hospitality that is being done. We see a lot of the time when we come into businesses like this that there's a lot of roads that have been traveled, right? So let's say you have resource constraints and there's a big project coming up. You've got to move your PMS in the next couple months. That road has to be laid down with correct IT fundamentals, but also security foundations. If that road isn't laid down properly, someone has to come up and redig the road and relay it back. And this is a big issue that we saw within not only this hospitality company, but a lot we see. A lot of roads traveled with cracks where simply they need to be reverted, but you don't have time. And so this is where we come in and try and manage all of this for you. We help customers become full PCI compliant, so I'll talk a little bit about this now. With PCI, we see this as a great roadmap to become fully secure with your IT and, of course, implement those security fundamentals. But the thing is, you can spend a year doing your PCI compliance, right? And you get to the new year, you're fully compliant, and now, a month later, let's say someone forgets to patch a firewall because there's a critical vulnerability, or someone forgets to log that they've changed a configuration on the switches, right? And within that month, let's say you get a data breach and there is some leaked PCI data, well, you're going to be in some trouble. So the thing is with PCI, it's continuously maintaining this. That's the hardest task. It's not implementing these changes per se, it's maintaining them indefinitely. And we also help them towards Cyber Essentials Plus. We help them with cyber assurance, supply assurance processes. We had a story from someone earlier where they had a supplier who got breached and they were using that data to contact the customers, very similar to Booking.com attacks that you're probably aware of. We established all their IT policies for them, and we also improved operational procedures across the environment. There's some other highlights. I'm not going to go through it too much, but the main ones here is the ones at the bottom. So creating a dedicated knowledge base. We know and we see that IT is very fluid with how people move about. Someone might be an IT manager somewhere, and then a couple months later, they might move to another business. It's similar within their internal team, operations managers leave, and they go to another property. It's a very fluid market, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, there has to be some redundancy with that knowledge. If you have someone who's worked at a business for 20 years, they have a depth of knowledge that you can't fathom to even try and ask them to note down. It will take them a very long time to get everything that down. So we come into a business and we basically create a Wikipedia for the company. The reason why we do this is not only to help our support, but it's to help their support. If that key member leaves, we provide redundancy for that team member. And lastly, we also helped with recruitment of IT within this business, and we do this with other businesses as well within hospitality. They ask us because they see our service team. They see the people who support them day in, day out, and they see that feedback, and they want some of that. So they come to us, and we do the interviews for them. So it's very interesting. So I call this the ThreatSpike transformation. It's 3 parts. It's discovering what is there and what isn't. It's then creating an implementation plan for all of this, not only from what isn't there, but it's understanding what projects you want to take on within your business. So if you are sick of your backups not working, or maybe you have them in AWS and you want redundancy in Azure, we add that and we help you through that transition and that task. And then lastly is continuity. This is arguably, again, the most important thing here. It's making all these changes, transforming your IT and security to where it needs to be, but indefinitely maintaining it. That's the hardest task. So coming back to the question of who is ThreatSpike, well, we are your IT and security partner. Thank you.